How are y'all? One of the things that I've been wanting to do over the past few months is look at some different options for planners, bullet journals, that kind of thing. Don't get me wrong, I love the Hobonichi. But the Hobonichi has some limits. It has a few cons, even though it has an immense amount of pros. Some of the cons are that it costs so much to ship, unless you order through like JetPens or Amazon or somewhere. And then you don't get everything, or you can order from Etsy, but then you still pay more, I think. So the least expensive route is probably Amazon if you have Amazon Prime. But I came across this. Creative Minds is by Ann Lee. She's a YouTuber. We'll leave a link to her video and the website below. It comes with a little paint palette and the journal. It's called the Creative Minds Journal. And she says, life isn't about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. Henry David Thoreau. On Instagram, it's at Creative Minds, and then it's www.creativemindsjournal.com. It has sort of a linen fabric feel to it. We're going to take it apart. So it has Creative Minds Journal right here, and then it has the CM right here. It does have an elastic. This is black. This feels like cardstock. This, oh, well. Okay, so we have a con. We have glue right there, which I will probably put something across here anyway, so, but we have our first con. We have some glue right here. And then you open this up, and it says Creative Minds Journal by Ann Lee. And then it says this journal belongs to. And then we have this page, and it says, hello, fellow creative mind. Life isn't about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. She has written that quote right here. And it says that the Creative Minds Journal is made to help provide you with the perfect balance between creative thinking and productivity. A lot of times we are either heavy on the creative side or heavy on the analytical side, but rarely both. I wanted to put this journal together to help bridge the gap for all of us to expand our minds. When we're able to expand our minds, our creativity will flow, allowing us to fulfill our life to its fullest potential. There are no rules nor guidelines, just you and your journal. It's a completely customizable and forgiving organization system. It can be your to-do list, sketchbook, notebook, diary, but mostly all of the above. It will allow you to do more with less. I've found that doodling and customizing your journal is a great way to develop your personal style and discover your inner creativity. This minimal design and guidance of the journal is your jump-off point for transformation. Here's your opportunity to embrace your creativity and productivity all in one beautiful place. Stop looking and start creating what you want. Yours truly, Ann Lee. So then we get to here. And this is your mind map and how to get the most of your journal. Now the great thing about this is you could leave this in, but you could cover this with paper and put your goals and different things in here if you wanted to. Drawing with pencil, pen, or brush on paper isn't just for artists. For anyone who actively exercises the brain, doodling and drawing are ideal for making ideas tangible. The Journal of Applied Cognitive Psychology. And then Albert Einstein said, creativity is intelligence having fun. So she has a mind map of the different parts of the brain. And it says, get the most of your journal. Get the most out of your journal. See, the writer, it's can't NaNoWriMo, y'all. So you just have to excuse me if I am, editor mode. The first step is to let go of expectations and judgment on yourself. The Creative Minds Journal is for you to be you. There is no right or wrong way in starting. You can start with your gratitude list as a reminder to love yourself. Doodle or draw on an Improv Artwork page and embrace the spontaneity and flow of your day. If you are feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, or full of ideas, try putting things down in a mind spill page where you pour out your thoughts without judgment. Use this as a time to unlock and unwind. Step 2. The Creative Minds Journal is a customizable and forgiving organization system. Once you try out the different layouts and set down your own system, you'll determine how this journal will serve you best. It can be your to-do list, sketchbook, notebook, and diary. The Creative Minds Journal will teach you to do more with less. Carry this around with you everywhere you go. Note all your ideas, thoughts, and inspirations as they flow to you. Step 3. Invest into you. Invest into you. Set some time aside with you and your Creative Minds journal. Identify the time and environment you want to use your journal. To become a better version of who you are, self-care and awareness is key. The Creative Minds journal will be your tool and guide to get you started. By going with the flow of the pages, you find your mind in a present and mindful state of awareness. And then at the very end, she says, have fun. Remember, there are no set rules to how you want to use this journal. It's your personal space, so make it your own. Check out creativemindsjournal.com for our favorite inspirations, and feel free to share your tips, insights, and creations with us on Instagram at #CreativeMindsJournal. And she is, like I said, at Creative Minds. So here we have, maybe this is the older one because we are now in 2019, but I think for future planning, the goal would be to have 2019 your current year, and then the next year. I don't need the year before, or to have the year before, the year of, and then the next year. That would be ideal. So then we have dot grid pages. And let's get the Leuchtturm so you can see. So the Leuchtturm is a little bit more yellow looking. And then I have a Taroko Design Breeze, which is definitely more white. So it is sort of it's more vanilla. It's not quite as yellow. It's pretty close though to the Leuchtturm paper. And the dots look pretty similar. From what I understand, this is 120 GSM paper. So it is numbered. The pages are numbered. Then you have more dot grid. And then you have your calendar. So you have, essentially, at the very beginning of the journal to start, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 6 pages before you get to the calendar. So you could use the first 2 pages as an index, and then these could be goals or whatever you need to write. You have the monthly calendar, and you do have room to do some doodles and stuff. It is not dated, and it is a Sunday start, which I'm not a fan of. I don't start my week on Sunday. I start my week on Monday, so I will be changing that. These are my to-dos and notes. And then it has what you seek is seeking you, a quote by Rumi. And this is my interpretation of this quote and what it means to me. And then this is Improv Artwork, and she has a sort of very lightly drawn artwork for you to start. If you want to, then you can do your own, or you could cover that up. This is dot grid, and this is a reflection kind of thing, and I think this is a good prompt. It gives you a quote, and then you write your interpretation of it. If you didn't like that, you could just cover that right there up with washi, and just leave the quote at the top, or cover the whole thing up. So that's up to you. Then mind spill, everything on my mind, and this is blank. It is not dot grid. There are only 2 ways to influence human behavior. You can manipulate it, or you can inspire it. Simon Sinek. And then she has the weekly, and this is week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and it is not dated. Week 5, and then notes, which is good because there are a lot of months in the year that do have 5 weeks. And then this is dot grid, and then you have more dot grid, and then you have what was your takeaway for this month. I am grateful for. I will attract in my life what I am, and then you fill out. I am grateful for. You could draw things, or you could write things, or make a list. This is a review for the month. I like that. I usually call my grateful list the good stuff. Then you have more dot grid pages, and then the month. So I think that it continues that way throughout the journal. This is crystals. It's very lightly drawn crystals. And then you have the exact same thing. And then you have your month. And then this looks like that's cactus. Yeah, different cactuses. She calls this improv artwork. And you could do your own thing, or you could draw something else over it. And it's set up the exact same way, and it looks to be stitched. It does lie flat. These would be plants. These would be stars. You have one bookmark, and it's a rather wide bookmark. It's pretty hefty, pretty thick, and it has that thing at the very bottom of it, so little wax so it wouldn't fray. This would be mountains, a jar, it looks like a mason jar, a tree, a circle, and it's got a imperfection right there, little circles. Oh, now that's pretty. A moon. Camera. And then extra dot pages in the very back. I'm going to do some thinking because we are only a couple of days into April, and I have a cup right there, and it is NaNoWriMo, Camp NaNoWriMo, and I'm doing in the Hobonichi and stuff. I'm doing the books and coffee cup, anything that's Camp NaNoWriMo related, typewriters, coffee cups, books, that kind of thing. So I may do this, do the coffee cup and then watercolor, and we're going to test out this watercolor. These are the watercolors, and it comes with this brush. She actually said she uses these. She uses a bigger thing of these, but we're gonna test them. We're gonna see what they're about. We're gonna test the paper and everything. So I'm going to set up April, and the rest will be time lapsed, and we'll see how things go. I'm going to do this. Hey y'all, I wanted to talk a bit about the journal and what I think about it while you see me setting it up. This isn't going to be really long, but I'm going to give you some information about the journal itself, the pros and cons. I'm using it as a sidekick to my bullet journal and my planner. It is for creative purposes for me as a content creator. I want to get back to coming up with a theme for every month and working on that theme. April is going to be the month where I'm putting things together for this, because the theme for me for April is spring and Camp NaNoWriMo and the 100-day project. And for the 100-day project, I'm working on creating better daily habits. I want to create some of these habits, and I figure 100 days would be a really good way to get that really going with the habits that I really want to make daily habits, like getting outside every day and things like that. I'm also going to show you some of the things I've added, because this isn't a bullet journal for me, and it's not really a planner for me. If I had to say it was a planner, it'd be more like a goal / content, creative content and goals and things like that. It's the in addition to. So this journal is an 8.8 by 6.2, those are in inches, and it's 1 inch thick. It's 235 numbered pages. It has 120 GSM paper. Some of it's plain, some of it's dot grid. It is a cream colored paper, but the dots and the writing look like they're in more of a close Lexington gray ink. It's not a black bold color. It's not like in your face. Watercolor is 12 color palette. And the journal itself is eco-friendly. It is made from eco-friendly materials. So it is a bit bigger than an A5. So it won't fit in my traveler's notebooks or in my folios. Like I talked about in the beginning of the video, it is sort of a linen feel. And it does have this, which I'm going to need because I'm going to be bulking it up, because I'm going to be adding different things to it. Because every month, as I create per week for Patreon and for YouTube, I'm going to talk about topics that I'm going over, what I want to cover in coffee chats. How I set it up originally was like how you would set up a bullet journal or a planner, because I wanted to give a good review of someone who would use it that way. And it would be great for somebody who only needs monthly, weekly, and a little bit of extra stuff if you put your dailies somewhere else, or if you don't do dailies. If I wanted to use this, I would have to use something else with it, because I am big on dailies. But it would be great for somebody who doesn't need a lot of planning, who doesn't have to do a lot of planning, who's very new to planning, bullet journaling, that kind of thing. Or for someone like me who sort of needs a sidekick, something to help them keep their creativity stuff organized and stuff like that. For me, it's going to be a great addition to what I'm already kind of doing, which I am fine-tuning. It has great paper. The 120 GSM paper is great. Works really well for watercolor, but it's cream. And I'm more of a white paper person, but if you love the cream, it's very similar in color to the Leuchtturm paper, but it has a different feel to it. It has no bleed through with any of the pens I tried. Fountain pens, fine liners, markers. I tried a lot of different things, but so far platinum carbon ink and the TWSBI Classic stub, which has a lot. It's a very wet ink. Usually if the paper's not like awesome, it will bleed or at least ghost through, and I didn't have any ghosting. The only thing that really ghosted, you can see, is the watercolor. It's a Sunday start. So for those of you who, like me, need a Monday start, if you noticed in there, I just put marker over it and then wrote over it. You could put stickers over it. That's up to you. Some people like a Sunday start, so I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a Sunday start unless you're a Monday start kind of person. The option for a Sunday or a Monday would be great. There's not enough room for dailies, so that's the only, that would be the con for me if this were going to be my bullet journal. It's like a lot of people, when they were talking about the Scribbles That Matter planner bullet journal thing, there wasn't enough room for certain things, or how it was set up made it sort of hard to do certain things. The way she's got this set up, you have basically 6 pages or 3 pages depending on how you're looking at it. When you start every month, I use these two for index, and then I use these 2 for second and third quarter goals, and then I use this for the Hello April for my April goals and the Hello April page, and then you get to the calendar. At the end of this, and there are quite a bit of blank pages in between. Towards the end, like this was a blank page, and this is my field notes weather tracker, and that's because I'm getting outside every day, even if it's just to the mailbox, and I'm tracking the weather, and I'm going to do this for each month, and I'm tracking what I did. So like, for example, on the 1st of April, it was clear, and I walked a mile, and I checked the mail, and I got out and about. Like, I actually left, got in the vehicle, and went out and about twice. I was like, wow. Now on the 2nd, which was rainy and yucky, the only outside I got was to check the mail. My walking was inside the house. I did my walking inside the house. So then on the 3rd, it was hazy, so it rained some, and then I did walk around the block, just around the block, not a whole mile, and the yard, and I did check the mail, but my shoulder sort of almost froze. It was like I had a Charlie horse. Actually, this is the wrong shoulder. I'm looking at the shoulder that y'all would be looking at, but my left shoulder froze. The weather, the barometric pressure changed, and we had a very cold, rainy night Tuesday night, and Wednesday morning I got up, and it was like I slept wrong, or I had a crick in my neck, only not in my neck so much as right in here and in here. So I could barely move my left arm. I took Wednesday off. Usually Wednesday is a busy day for me. The only thing I did do was do my Camp NaNoWriMo writing. I did journal a bit. I did whatever I could do on the couch. That was pretty much it, other than to get outside and walk for just a few minutes, just around the one little block. And then in the yard, I picked up a few things with my right arm that were debris things from the rain. So we wouldn't run over them, and I checked the mail. And then on the 4th, I walked around twice the block, which is like, depending on which way I go, it's about a mile. And I also checked the mail, and it was really clear. And then yesterday, which was the 5th, I got out and walked around. I got out and about out of the house. I went to Walmart with my daughter. We went to Starbucks and got us a coffee. And then we went to Walmart to look at baby stuff. And I was really excited. I'm going to put that in here because I've got to do the weather for yesterday. So that's one of the things. And then, like I said, you get to the end of the month, and it has the takeaway for the month. The grateful for, which is where I'm probably going to doodle, like sort of like that in the bullet journal. You've seen different people do their memories for that month. That's probably what I'm going to do in that section. And then the I will attract in my life what I am. And then I'm going to either do some writing or some doodling, and I am happy about blah, 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 or I am feeling like I could draw my shoulder or the heating pad, and I am in pain. So I will attract in my life what I am, and I am in pain, and I don't want to attract pain. This is sort of I want to say it's that manifesting kind of thing, the law of attraction kind of thing. So I want to be careful what I put, because my natural inclination is to put what I am and what's going on. So I'm trying to be more positive, and I am what I attract. I attract what I am. But there's a lot of reflecting in this, which is really good for me because that helps fill my creative well. That's one of the things I wanted this to be about for me, is replenishing my creative well, keeping up with my creativity. I want to, like I said, start doing themes and stuff for each month. I don't know if I want to do that on YouTube or not. I may do that on YouTube. But then after you finish that, then you end up with the 6 pages of the dot grid paper, and then it starts a new month. And what I did like is each month has like this sort of very faint thing that she's already started, and you can finish drawing it, or you can cover over it, or you could draw over it, or whatever you wanted to do, because it is faint. It's called Improv Artwork. And on the other side of that, she has a quote, and then she has below that where you put my interpretation of this quote and what it means to me. And I really did enjoy that when I did this in here, and that's something I'm excited about doing every month. This is, for me, it's part of the self for me, like self-care and my creative self and filling my well and stuff like that. So that's what this is. Now, like I said, I'm going to need the elastic, because I have put pockets, I put glassine pockets for things that I might need for the month or whatever, or, you know, and then I did that here too. Like, I have a recipe I want to try for this month that's in one of these pockets. I also have a little bit of a map because I want to do a little bit of traveling sometime this month, even if it's just going to go get my mom at the end of the month to bring her here for the baby shower for my newest grandbaby that's coming. And here is sort of one of those like library cards, and I think I'm going to put my accomplishments for the month and do one each month, and then they can go in the envelope. I finish things, because I'll be pulling things out of the envelope, and then we all have a few of those cards when I finish this. I think it's great for a beginner. I think it would be great for a beginner, or as a sidekick journal for your other stuff. And that's what I'm using it for. Like I said, it's a little bit bigger than an A5, so it doesn't fit in my traveler's notebooks or my folios, but that's okay because this is primarily for my desk for in here. It may come out of here and go in the living room, and I might do some work on it in the living room, but I'm not going to be taking it out of the house. Because it is pretty, I mean, you could actually toss this in your purse. If you're like me and you just want covers, you could probably have one made to go over it, but I like this because I could actually stick a little label and put April 2019 to, and whenever I finish it. It looks like 12 months worth of, so maybe I'll finish this next April, and then by then, what few errors there are in this, which are a few grammatical errors, and then the glue that was here that I had to cover. Other than that, yeah, like I said, there were just a couple of grammatical errors, and I probably wouldn't have noticed them if it weren't for Camp NaNoWriMo and the fact that I read this out loud to show y'all, to talk to y'all about what's going on. It does do held up to stickers. It would probably hold up to stamps pretty well. I haven't tried a stamp in it yet, but we'll see how it goes. I have a few planning kind of stamps where it has little listings, and I might get those out and actually use them in there, because for my planning and my bullet journaling and stuff, I use paper that isn't really conducive to stamps. So I don't do a lot of stamping anyway. I'm going to leave the link to her website and her Instagram information, and I bought this off Amazon, and I'm about to do my Amazon review on it, but I'm going to leave the link to Amazon so you can purchase it from Amazon if you'd rather. And I will see y'all again soon. I have some more reviews and stuff coming because I'm changing things up, and as I'm changing things up, I'm going to be reviewing what I'm doing and what I'm using. I have some goal planners to actually review. They're not great for me, but I think they would be great for other people. So I'll see y'all again soon with something else. Bye, y'all.